What's going on, YouTube? I'm back, and I just wanted to give my thoughts and shit on Bucks and Boston Celtics series. You know what I mean? Game one was one hell of a game. You know what I mean? It was, like Boston was getting out there on a run real quick. They were going to continue their success and shit with for the Brooklyn Nets series. But for me, it's just even without Chris Middleton, Bucks showed their championship poise and pedigree in this game, man. Because at first it looked like Boston, is going to continue their dominance from the Nets series, but you look at it on the Bucks side and shit. Of course, Giannis had a triple double. The numbers may not scream all that great, but his production on both sides of the court pretty much it drove the Bucks. Definitely drove the Bucks to in that game. You know what I mean? Plus, you had guys like Wesley Matthews. I don't know why the Lakers let that dude go. In hindsight, that might end up being a bad move and shit, despite the fact that some ways Wesley Matthews may have struggled with the Lakers. You know what I mean? Wesley Matthews had a strong game. Drew Holiday provided a lift, with his strong playboy assists in the court. Bobby Portis had a dominant game. Brick Lopez, I feel like they exaggerated with the way the Bucks defense struggled in the regular season. I think Brook Lopez brought something different to the table, man, to the point where he locked down the interior. With him and Giannis down there, man, it's very hard to get some driving lanes and shit. You know what I mean? And yeah, they had a strong out on that end, man. You know what I mean? As far as the Celtics and shit, they're gonna have to make some adjustments, man, because I felt like they were in the comfort zone playing the Brooklyn Nets. You know what I mean? With their porous defense, number one, and number two, they had very, very least resistance when playing the Brooklyn Nets. You know what I mean? Like, Brooklyn Nets probably had the worst defense out of all the 16 playoff teams. 20 if you count the play-in and shit. And they were fortunate to get past the play-in, but that's neither here nor there. Boston Celtics, they will have to make some adjustments, man, because they're playing against a better opponent, number one. And number two, they're playing against a better, well-coached team. You know what I mean? Because when you think about it, yeah, Budenholzer has his flaws, you know what I mean? But he's had a lot better than Steve Nash, as far as in-game adjustments, as far as getting his rotations right. Last year, you know, felt like Budenholzer made some mistakes and shit. But for me, it's like he's learning on the fly, I guess. He's learning on the fly and shit, you know what I mean? And it's like, Ime Udoka got to definitely you have to definitely put on this coaching helmet this series, man. You know what I mean? Because when you look at it, they're going to have to find a solution to how to basically contain Giannis. They contained him this game, but not quite like how, you would expect and shit, right? Giannis did well for himself, even in a game that was kind of below his standards. Kind of, subpar and shit when you think about it, So, thing about Boston, man, they fell in love with that 3-point shot too damn much. I felt like Tatum, Brown, Marcus Smart, Al Horford, instead of playing inside out like they did the Nets series, they fell in love with the 3-point shot, and played inside in. Even Al Horford was hardly in the post, you know? And then Marcus Smart is, we got Marcus Smart, he's hurt right now. I mean, he didn't look particularly good in that series, in that first game, man. So you got to worry. you definitely got to worry about Marcus Smart's health for the rest of the series, man, because he's compromised in any kind of way. Boston could be in trouble as far as that goes. You know what I mean? Because he provides a spark for that defense for Boston. Shit, you know, definitely provides a spark for Boston. You know, definitely provides a spark for Boston. You know, so one game, just one game and shit, right? One game and shit. You know what I mean? But if you're a Boston fan, you gotta somewhat be worried about this matchup because this particular matchup, you gotta worry about Milwaukee's front line with Giannis, Portis, and Lopez. See, this is not like the Brooklyn Nets where they just trying out small midgets and shit, right? These small midgets ain't gonna cut it. You know what I mean? You're playing against trees. You're playing against skyscrapers in this series, man. They got to adjust and find out a way how to generate easy baskets, you know? Especially when it comes to Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown without depending on the three-point shot and shit. You know, because I felt like not only they felt in love with the three-point shot, the others, the supporting cast and shit, fell in love with that shit. Derek White, Patrick Williams. Usually these guys played solid, but this game they were inconsistent, especially when you consider what's going on and everything. You know what I mean? Considering how well they played in the Nets series. But like I said, this is a straight up totally different series, man. You know what I mean? Styles make fights. Every series is not going to be the same and shit. You know? Every series ain't going to be the same. Nowhere near the same. And when you think about it, Game 2 is a must-win for the Celtics now. Because you don't want to be in a situation, man, where you're going right there into, whatchamacallit, Milwaukee. You're down 2-0 already. You coughed up home games and home field advantage altogether. By that time, even without Chris Middleton, Celtics would be in trouble, man. Celtics would definitely be in trouble at that point. So this has got to be a must-win situation for definitely a must-win situation for Boston tomorrow when you think about it. You know what I mean? Because that first game, Giannis definitely dominated. Even though on the scoreboard it may not look cute and shit, but its impact on both sides of the ball, you can't overlook that shit. You can't overlook that shit. His dominance and over the ball and shit. His dominance on both sides of the ball, you know what I mean? And did other shit other than scoring, all you people who fall in love with style points and bag and shit, pay attention to what Giannis did in that game. Pay attention to what Giannis did in that game, okay? Because it wasn't just about scoring, you know? He didn't have a very impactful game scoring, but facilitating and playmaking, it ain't even close. And this is why, you know what I mean, it just baffles me. It just boggles my mind and shit. You got clowns out here, you know, well, I'm not even going to entertain that shit. If you don't think Giannis Antekoumpo is the best player in the NBA after this shit, even if he loses this series, it should be no doubt. Should be no doubt. Should be no doubt. Should be no doubt about who the best player in the league is right now. Even if the Bucks end up losing this series, even Milwaukee end up losing this series, because Giannis has done enough body of work, enough on his resume to the point where you got to give him the best player in the world title, man. You got to give him the best player in the league, and particularly now, right now, it's not even close. It's not even not even close. Not even close when you think about it. But let me know what y'all think, man. Who do y'all like in this series and shit? You think Boston can bounce back, or you think Milwaukee is poised to take a 2-0 lead and shit? As for me, all I'm gonna say is this could be an evenly matched series if Boston wins game 2. If if Milwaukee wins game 2, this might be a sweep. But I'm hoping I'm wrong. I'm hoping it's a 7-game series and shit, and we finally get a series that's competitive. It goes down to the wire and shit. But let me know what y'all cats think, man. I'm gonna hit y'all up.